Hi, I am Paul Warlowski, and this is Foundation Yoga. Welcome to the first recovery session of the Yoga for Cyclists course. You'll have 6 of these over the course of the course, and the idea is that this is a short routine that you can do after a ride, after any kind of workout, that will do some twisting, do some hip opening, and do some shoulder opening, as well as some front body opening. All right? So we will start in a child's pose. So bring your knees to the edge of the mat, put your big toes together, and then sink your hips down toward your heels as low as they will go. And then start bringing your elbows down to the mat and start to feel some looseness happening in your hips as you rotate them side to side. And then extend your hands a little bit farther and start to move with each breath out to the side. So inhale, come to the center, exhale, push out just a little bit to the left. Inhale, center, and then to the right. Start to feel your hips open a little bit. If your forehead can come down to the mat, that's great. Good. Bring your left hand underneath your right arm and your right elbow is on the mat, and you're doing a thread the needle, a variation of it. And here you can come up to if that's more comfortable. It certainly was for me and my hips that don't work too well. Inhale, come up a little bit. Always do that dynamic breathing. So this gives you a twist in your spine, opens up your shoulder a little bit, and come to the other side. And then come back into your tabletop, and we'll just do a few cats and cows, both to make sure we understand how to do them, because we'll use them a lot. So in tabletop, your hands are underneath your shoulders and your knees are underneath your hips. And in cow, you will inhale, raise your eyes up, drop your belly toward the mat, and stick your butt out. And then in cat, you'll do the opposite. You'll roll your shoulders down, your spine up as high as you can go, and your hips in. And then inhale into cow, and exhale into cat. And do this a few times on your own breath. Inhale, if you wish to follow me, and exhale. And inhale, and exhale, and inhale, and exhale. And then come back, roll your toes under, and come into a downward dog. Kick your heels up and back, bring your hips up into the air. Bend your knees this time, and while you're having a firm grip in your hands and your toes, just drop your ears in between your elbows first and really focus on opening up your shoulders and your shoulder joints as much as possible. And then once you get a sense of where you're at today, you can move your feet back and straighten your legs a little bit. You can bicycle your heels down, and just come into a good movement. Good. From here, you'll come into a plank, but just for a moment. Because what we'll do is come into either a Cobra or a Sphinx. So here's the Cobra. The idea is that your shoulders are back, your head is neutral, but you're using your hands to pull against your knees to lengthen your spine on the inhale, and on the exhale, drop your hips a little bit. The Sphinx is on the same idea, but on your elbows, so that it's a little bit less of a stress on your back and on your wrists too. So with Sphinx, your elbows are underneath your shoulders, your fingers are extended. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, try to deepen. There you go. Good. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders and push back into a downward dog. And we'll do this a couple of times. And in the Cobra, inhale, exhale, back into downward dog. Inhale into Cobra, and exhale into downward dog. Bring your left foot forward into a low lunge. So that means your knee is on the mat, and we'll do this a couple of different ways. For now, get your hands on your left knee and keep scooching your foot forward so that you're feeling a pull on this set of hip flexors, this chunky muscle here, but you're also keeping your upper body straight, okay? Because when you lean forward, it works more of your hamstrings on your left. We want to get at opening up these hip flexors. Tight hip flexors and the tight iliopsoas and the muscles that are in your lower belly usually tend to be the cause of lower back pain. So if you can keep opening your hips, and then inhale, come up, and then exhale, come down. Got it? Good. Good. All right. Then bring your right hand down onto the mat, and we'll do a lizard twist by bringing your left hand up into the air. Inhale your spine long. I'm just going to flip around so I'm facing you. Inhale your spine long, and exhale, twist your shoulders. You might end up pushing through your left foot a little bit. Good, and then we'll do it on the same thing, but now with your right leg forward. Okay, so again, try to work your knee over where roughly, your shoelaces would be. Exhale, inhale, come up a little bit. Exhale, rotate forward. So you can feel that in your quads and in your hip flexors. Good. And drop your left hand onto the ground, and we'll do the twist. And you will find that there are different levels of the twist that you are able to do depending on what side you are. One side might be tighter than the other. Good. Then bring your hand back down, bring your foot back, and you're gonna come into a high plank just for a moment, because what's gonna happen now is you're gonna bring your left leg up on the inhale, and then this time you're gonna bring your left leg through to the side. And you're gonna adjust your hands wherever they are, but you're gonna be dropping yourself down so that you are feeling a stretch that goes from your left hip bone all the way down your IT band. Not a fan of this one, but it's pretty darn effective for opening up that side. Good, and then come back, same thing. Now to the right, and again, you'll find differences in how loose this is. This side's feeling tighter. This also gets at some of your hip and your gluteus minimuses and maximuses, as well as some of those other hip flexor and inner, oh wow, belly movements. All right, let's come to a seated position on the mat. Bring your big toes and your soles of your feet together, and we'll do a seated butterfly. And in the seated butterfly, our goal is to lengthen your spine on the inhale, and exhale, come down. Where you put your feet is not really important at this moment. What matters is that you are feeling a stretch in your hips and your inner thighs. And in your lower back. Good. All right, for this next one, I'm gonna turn kind of sideways so you can see what we're gonna do. We'll be building on this throughout the 6 weeks. These are called 90-90s, and we're gonna be working on them to really start to open up our hips. But for now, all you need to do is bring your knees down, inhale and exhale, inhale and exhale. And eventually you'll be able to be sitting up more upright than I certainly am, because this is a really hard movement for guys in general, but it's the older we get, the more challenging this is. And then start to rotate around. And we'll do one more on this side. Good. All right, last one. Supine twist. Come onto your back. Have your arms out to the side. Bring your knees and feet up so that you have two 90 degrees, one with your knee, your thighs and your body, and one with your thighs and your shins. And try to keep your knees together and simply start dropping them to the left. Okay, keeping that those 90-degree angles. All right, and then from here, your shoulder's going to come up off the mat. And you are just going to slowly inhale and exhale as you open up your lower back. You can put your left hand onto your top of your right thigh if that helps keep your knee down a little bit, but do not push this. Good, and let's go to the other side. do the same thing. All right. All right. That's it. Thank you very much for joining us, and I hope that you start getting a sense of the movement that is possible for cyclists in opening up our hips, our shoulders, and our front body, as we also twist in order to do some of the recovery work that we need to from being hunched over on the bike. Again, I am Paul Worlowski. This is Foundation Yoga, and this is the first recovery class for the Yoga for Cyclists course. Thanks.